Hi everyone, we are back with another war video today, and this is going to be the final war of Season 57. We have 7 fights. We are in a situation where it's win and in. Our win and finish top 10 for this war, so a loss will fall to like 11th or 12th. A win, and we'll finish probably like, well, I know where we finish. We finish in the top 10 if we win, though, obviously. So first up, we have Silk here versus Nefaria. I have 7 fights a day, fairly big war. The Crossbones fights are a bit tricky. Well, the final 2 are. The first one's easy. But first up, though, this Silk versus Nefaria. Basically, I'm just going to do my best to play the node. We're going to do medium, light, heavy, every single attack. Because we don't want to get a bunch of prowess and then him get a bunch of... Or we don't want to get a bunch of, I think, placebo buffs. Feed him a bunch of prowess when the neutralizes up on us. So, first special 2 coming out here, though. Silk does really well versus Nefaria on a lot of nodes, to be honest. So, yeah, this fight's going to go pretty damn well. It would be impressive if I did die here, because, yeah, this is my easiest fight for sure. We get a heavy here. Medium, light, heavy, relic, medium, light, heavy, special 2, and this is obviously going to be plenty. And down he goes. So, nice, quick, easy fight to start the war. Then we're going to make our way to our next fight, which I think it's the next video. Yeah, I take it the next video. Honestly, for this fight, I wasn't too worried about him finishing over a bar of power and feeding the next fight I have a bar of power, because it potentially could have made the fight a bit easier, to be honest. So yeah, I wasn't worried about this fight. Obviously, I got to play around the root. I want to make sure I'm kind of in the process of throwing my special 2 when I do it. And then I screwed up, obviously. We don't get any buffs, though, so still very safe here. We're going to throw our special 2 here. This is going to do a good amount of damage. We're doing our best to play the node. I'm not super focused on it, though, either. Here we're going to do medium, light, heavy, special 1 during the root process. I think this gets close. Yeah, this ends like perfectly. If I was doing it normally, where you wanted him to finish below par, that would have been perfect. We did end up finishing below a bar of power. Jeez, I cannot talk today. But it was not a huge ordeal that ended up happening. Our next fight, we're going to be on path 6 here in section 2. And we have Chavez here. And this is part of the reason I said it wouldn't be horrible if she did get a power gate at the beginning, because she is going to be debuff immune. So it's a bit tricky because you don't want her throwing a bunch of heavies, obviously. Typically, I try and get a white Magneto here just to be safe. So we're obviously not going to be going for our heavy at the end of our combos because, yeah, it won't stun her. We're not applying debuffs. Here we go, though. Got the first special one out without issue. There I went for a light intercept, but I was able to recover in time because she didn't throw it. So now she did 1 heavy, so she's going to get a little bit of power gain after each special, which isn't too bad. Here we're trying to bait the special 1 out. She throws it. We're going to combo here. Bait out 1 more special 1, and then we're going to do our relic, our full combo, relic, special 2. And that's obviously going to be plenty of damage, and down she goes. So nice and easy. I was a bit nervous just because, you know, it's Chavez. She could be a complete ass and just throw 1,000 heavies and ruin your day. Next up, we do have Ham here, and I did make a whole mastery setup for my Crossbones fights with the max fury, duration, and potency, and all that nonsense. We are throwing a skill boost on here and power backs. Oh, I guess I have a lot, so yeah. Ooh, I probably need to start checking my power backs in game actually to refill them. Yeah, but we got Ham here again with Crossbones. This fight's super easy. I think I took it. I used Crossbones the first war of the season, and then now this last war of the season. And I think I took this fight in the first war. If not, I've done this fight before. It's very easy. Once you get enough Furies up, you shut off the node, so you don't have to worry about the prowess or the puncture. Main thing here is I want to throw my special ones right when I have them, like this. He got a bunch of prowess there because I had really bad crit RNG. We're going to trigger our overrun during the special one, and then heavy to pause the Furies, just how we wanted. Here we're going to throw another special one, bait his, heavy punish, bait it one more time, and I think we just go for the kill here. Yeah, full combo, relic, and he's down. So super easy, quick fight, really well played there. Just some chip damage because we didn't want to stun, obviously. Next, we have two very challenging Crossbones fights in a row. And I'll admit, I approached this fight very incorrectly. I forgot that she would go unblockable, which is inexcusable. I've done this node 1,000 times this season with Wiccan versus Null, so I know that. So what I should have done is just triggered Overrun right at the beginning. Instead, I'm going to make her go unblockable. Then I'm going to take Power Sting damage. And now, yeah. And then I'm trying to trigger Overrun, and I do get that off. But she built up a bunch of charges during this, unfortunately. We get a heavy here. And I probably just could have played more aggressive to get out of here. I mean, look, we have 20 Furies. But I pushed her to Pure Light Form there. Now, the reason I didn't think that was going to happen is because she was at 9 charges. Now, I think because I pushed her over Bar Power, the Power Sting tried to apply, and that gave her a charge, even though it was shut off because I had so many prowess, and obviously you'd see it didn't trigger. But I think it tried to apply, and that was what pushed her to 10 charges, which is what completely threw me off there because I was not expecting that. Because I saw she was at 9, pushed her to Special 2. Special 2 doesn't apply any debuffs. I can safely dex it and be completely fine and try and close out the fight. But that obviously did not happen. So just an interaction that caught me off guard. But again, if I play that correctly and trigger Overrun at the start, and I have 3 Furies, I won't be getting debuffs on me. I won't be making her go unblockable, and then that fight is much smoother. So really just poor planning by me. But obviously it didn't cost us more than a couple potions, which is not a big deal. This fight was the fight I was by far most worried about. It's a big arcade. Crossbones is only rank 3. We're punching up a lot. Arcade's also not a hero. So yeah, a lot to worry about. Conflictor, so we don't really want to parry, so we're going to have to take a good amount of chip damage. We can heavy punish his attacks, or his heavy, obviously. But still, it's, as we do there, pause our Furies. We're going to trigger Overrun, dex out of that. Punish here, he has 1 charge. I am aware of that. I'm going to try and bait a heavy, punish it to remove that. Think I go for Special 3 route here. And I want to deal with Special 1s only, just because the Special 2 does have a bunch of chip damage. There, I see he has 2 tokens, so I'm going to back off. We're going to heavy punish. Think I trigger Overrun here. Yeah, we're going to combo here. Bait out the Special 1. Dex in. Punish. And then I think I heavy here. Yeah, I was a bit late. So as you can see, the fight's going, and I do eat 1 Special 1, so that's the Special 1 I'm going to eat. Here I decide I want to bait this heavy from him first and get rid of some of these tokens before I throw the Special 3. Now we throw the Special 3. We're still ahead in the health race, not by a lot, but we are winning. So yeah. Here... Oh, I'm trying to get a Special 1 out. And so we have a good amount of Furies now, but we're going to end up losing them all, which sucks. I think I go for Special 1s going forward. But yeah, the fight's going, but it's very slow. The Special 1 dexes are quite difficult, so I mean, I'm doing my best with it, and I'm doing okay for the most part. But yeah, here we're comboing away again. I think we're going to get a heavy here. I want to get out of his little stun thing because I don't want to obviously get him heavy stun me. Do a good job dexing again. We're going to throw the Special 1 back out of it again. Dex here. Dex here. Punish. And then again, we're kind of in our corner. I'm going to dex over this and trigger Overrun. Get to 4 Furies. So I have some damage going out. But yeah, this fight is obviously just painfully slow. Punching up with Crossbones versus Arcade is It's a lot. And thankfully, I play well here with all the heavy punishing and the dexing of the special one, because if I didn't, this fight could get really out of control. Here we get trigger overrun. We got 9 Fury, so we're actually in a really good spot. I think I go for the kill here. Yeah, we have 12 Furies. It's time to go for it. And then we close it out. So it was slow. Could I have played better? Yes. I was very nervous for that fight, though, so I just wanted to be as safe as possible, as this is a critical war to win to get top 10, and Nefti's a very strong alliance. So yeah, played a bit safe. Got a good amount of Furies, though. Was able to close out that last 25% without too much issue. But it was partially just because of good crit RNG. The amount of invols. Oh my god, I spent so much money on, or so much units on invols this war. I bought 3. I really want a top 10. Last fight is going to be one of our easier ones. Silk versus Rintrah here. Done it a bunch of times. I was not worried at all. And it's kind of just a free mini for me to take. Silk is the best option. I've done it with Photon. It is slower. It's very doable, though, obviously. But Silk is just at least twice as fast. I think last time I used Photon here, it took 2.5 minutes. And Photon's a little over a minute, I think, typically. Because usually you just need 2 special 2s. So our first special 2 is about to come out here. Heavy, special 2. Get the damage rolling. Down at 55%. So we're looking like we're set up nicely for one big special 2 for the kill. Trying to do a good job managing his charges as best I can. Going well so far. Here we get full combo, heavy, relic. We're going for it now. Full combo. He's in the corner, so the unstoppable doesn't matter that he's going to trigger. We're going to throw our special 2, and boom, that closes out the fight. So again, just under a minute, nice and easy with Silk, and that does end our war. Yeah, so pretty challenging final war. Mainly just the arcade. I was very nervous with arcade, and then I botched the Photon fight because I was being dumb. But the arcade fight is a long, painful fight. I'm very much considering bringing Crossbones to rank 4. He is one of my 4 contenders. But maybe I'll cover that in another video with my new rank ups and stuff like that. But yeah, that does end our war. We, as an alliance, did win this final war versus Nefti. We had a really strong performance. We had 5 deaths only, which was kind of what we were targeting. You know, between 6 and 4 is what I think realistic for us to put up. And if we did that, we would have gave ourselves a good shot of beating Nefti. Nefti's kind of been a little bit all over the place this season. So if we got there, we knew we had a chance. Nefti had a really rough start. I think they had 4 deaths in their first 50 fights, which gave us a really good cushion. And we started off like 90-2. And then we had a couple mistakes at the end, cost us a couple deaths. But I think they died a couple more times, and then it was 6-5, and we had like 10 fights left, and they still had like half their fights. So we were able to close out. And then I don't know if they were boosting as big at the end because they knew they couldn't finish top 10. So the score ended up being quite... they had a really rough war. I think they had 14 deaths. But again, I don't know if they were boosting big at the end. They probably were not. And my battle group, BG1, I planned it. B helped out a little bit with the plan as well, and that helped us get a donut in the final war. So really proud of BG1 pulling it together really strong at the end to try and make sure we got Masters. That was our second donut of the season. B planned, when I was on vacation, B planned several of the wars and helped plan a lot of the wars while I was on vacation. And we had a donut during that time period as well. That B did, I think, 90% of the plan on that war. So really proud of our team getting 2 donuts this season. And then as an alliance, getting 5 deaths only in the final critical war was really strong performance from us. It was definitely a tale of 2 halves for this season. We had 66 deaths in the first half of the season. And then the second half, we only had 34 deaths. So after the whole Ada saying free win versus 4 locally, which again, I know he was joking, but it galvanized a lot of people in our alliance, and we really locked in. So really proud of how we finished the second half. It's a bit unfortunate that we're changing to a new well, not a new map. We're doing a whatever you want to call the one fight wars for a season because we seemed like we were really starting to gel and do really well. So a bit unfortunate we couldn't keep that momentum rolling into another proper war season. But that's gonna do it for this war fights. I will jump to the final stats of the season now. All right, and looking at the final stats of the season, this is what our fight breakdown ended up looking like. Oh, I didn't update that. Okay, we didn't have 2 deaths. We had 1 death. So 69-1. We did have 69 fights again, 2 seasons in a row. And then if you look at fight type, 47 path fights, 18 shared, 4 mini, 0 bosses this season. It just didn't really work out for me. The final boss, we had a shocker boss, and one of my other potential rank 4s was Null. If I had Null at rank 4, I might have taken it instead, but we had someone out there with Deathless Thanos, Peckle, and he did fantastic, crushed it, so either Null or Thanos would have been my ideal options at that for that fight. But yeah, the rest of the war fight, our bosses just didn't work out. Vacuum took a ton of them because there was a lot of Bastion or a lot of Onslaught bosses. He took a Bullseye boss. So yeah, just not a lot of boss fights for me this season, which is not a big deal. Sometimes I have a ton, sometimes I have 0. And then a lot as many mini fights as well either. A lot of the Ironheart fights I was able to shift off my plate this season. Peckle joined our alliance and he took a bunch of them and did a fantastic job. So that kind of allowed me to shift to different fights. Mainly the Null 42 fight with Wiccan. As you can see, for total fights for champs, Wiccan was second to Silk. If you would have told me this would have been the fight breakdown at the end of the season, I would have been very surprised. Very different from my first season where Photon had a ton of fights. She just didn't have as many this season. I took Silk to rank 4 because it was one of the champs, the more key war attackers we didn't have at rank 4. And I enjoy playing Silk. I know she's not everyone's cup of tea, but she's super strong. Pretty simple to play also, to be honest. There's some tricky matchups, but for the most part, she's not too difficult. And yeah, she's amazing all over the map. So she had 20 kills, 19 for Wiccan. I finally pulled Prowler at the beginning, or right before the season started, and I used him a bunch, obviously, with 8 kills. Amazing champ, definitely contender for rank 4 in the future. Crossbones just had the first war and the last war, which was a bit odd, but still 6 fights for him. Negasonic, who I haven't used very much before, I had 6 fights with her that went really well. Photon, again, had 3 fights. I think just 1 war for Photon. Cyclops had that 1 war. I expect to use Cyclops more once this tactic's gone. So I'm excited to use him, and it'll be really fun. Dust just had 1 fight, which went really well. Titania had just the 1-man thing the last war. Diablo, I forgot the Diablo fight. Didn't die, so it went relatively well. Kate had 1 fight, and then White Magneto's 1 fight was my 1 death, so he's on the bottom for a reason. But yeah, overall 69-1. Again, ignore the 2 deaths. Really happy with that season. The tier 1 record goes up to almost 98% solo rate. We're over 1,500 kills, which is a lot. Probably play too much. But yeah, really happy with the season overall. Really proud of us. We did end up finishing 6th place overall with that win. And we did have the 6th best attack bonus of all the alliances. So yeah, if you told me that at the beginning of the season, I would have been ecstatic, and I am very proud and happy with how we did. Yeah, 6th overall, 6th best performing alliance. We're nowhere near a podium contending alliance. There seems to be, in my opinion, tiers in the Masters bracket where you have the serious podium contenders, which are Salty, LVT, and GT40, of course, who won. Were very clearly the top 3 alliances this season, with Moon and Faye, Fallen Angels being not right behind them, but that kind of next tier, and then us at the top of the 3rd tier, I would say, with a bunch of the other alliances that are really solid that had just over 100 deaths. Nefti, Noon and Faye were at the next tier. It was Nefti. I think CZSK did really well. I'm forgetting other alliances. CAV and SGA, I think, were the other alliances that were in that area. But yeah, this next coming war season, I don't know if I'm going to record or post videos for the one fight wars. If I do, maybe I'll just like combine them all together, or in a way like maybe do 1 week at a time. Here's 3 fights, here's 3 fights for the next one. Just do 4 videos. But we'll see what ends up playing out. But yeah, that is going to do it for this war video though. Thank you for watching.